Hello everyone and welcome back to more Banjo-Kazooie. And in this episode we're going to be going through Clanker's Cavern, collecting everything to 100% and just, well, having a good time. I mean, I'm having a good time playing this game, believe me. But one thing I do want to talk about at the very beginning is a slight correction that I talked about in the previous episode when I was going through Treasure Trove Cove. If you remember, I basically said in that episode that I had to delete my save game file of Banjo-Kazooie because I performed really horribly on that level. No, it wasn't that level, it was actually Clanker's Cavern. Treasure Trove Cove went okay, so I just moved on. But by the time I got to Clanker's Cavern, I kept screwing up on this bit, trying to grab this Jiggy, or at least Jinjo, shall I say. Yes, I got it right this time, Jinjo. And I really hated the performance, so I just had to delete it and start again. But like I said, I can't do that for the future episodes or anything, because literally everything you collect, it stays with you. Which is a shame too, because I mean, I have recorded much further ahead of time and everything. And because of that, when it came to recording like further ahead in time, I screwed up a lot, particularly in the next level after this. Well, actually, in one particular segment. And I think you might know what I'm talking about if you played this game before, because, well, after Clanker's Cavern, I'm pretty sure you know what level is immediately after that. Also, by the way, this is going to be where the swimming controls are very helpful when you know about the R button that I talked about. Like, seriously, when you do hold it down, it makes it a hell of a lot smoother. And because of that, I like Clanker's Cavern now. Yeah, I'm a bit weird, really, because most people when they play Banjo-Kazooie, one of their favourite levels tends to be Treasure Trove Cove, and they tend to dislike Clanker's Cavern. I'm kind of like the opposite, I don't know why. Like, I honestly prefer Clanker's Cavern more than Treasure Trove Cove. I guess it's because with Clanker's Cavern, the main issue that people had with it is the swimming controls, because you have to swim down everywhere and go down into this deep bit where I am right now, and it's an absolute nightmare to control. But with the R button, that makes it a hell of a lot easier. And just, I don't know. I always found Treasure Trove Cove to be very sporadic of everything. Like, it's a huge place. It's really fun to collect stuff. It's not a boring level by any means. I don't know. It's just, whenever I go through Treasure Trove Cove, I always, sometimes I'm like, oh, do I want to get that Jiggy first, or do I want to get this one first? But I don't know. Just, with Clanker's Cavern, everything is all spread out evenly, and then I can just be like, oh, cool, I'm on this bit. You know what, I can collect this Jiggy while I'm at it. But, you know, just with Treasure Trove Cove, I don't really have that. It's weird. Oh wow, that's the first. I've actually never seen that before. The fish that gave me the bubbles or so actually swam through the key during the cutscene. Like, I know he normally does that usually, but that was actually during the cutscene when Clanker was being raised high above the water and everything. But yeah, at least for now we've helped out our friend Clanker or so in order to help him get some air. I'm pretty sure though that when people played this back in its time of release on the N64, and they saw Clanker as a kid, they must have been pretty freaking terrified. I mean, especially when you go through that hole for the first time and you just see this massive ass shark staring at you with this strange voice or so, you know? But still. I also do really like how when you go underwater, the music slightly alters itself. I'm pretty sure that I talked about this actually in episode 1 of this, because I'm, throughout most of this LP, going to praise Grant Kirkhope's work. Like, seriously, he has done a fine job. I will say that a lot of the time, because I really like this game's soundtrack. But I mean, I do like other gaming soundtracks too, like particularly, recently I've been playing a lot of Super Meat Boy. Yeah, the game that came out in 2010, and I could have played it on the Wii U and everything, but I just never played it. And recently I bought it for the XBLA and that, and I've been playing it a lot and really enjoying it, and the soundtrack to it is amazing. In fact, that's the reason why I got the Xbox Live Arcade version, because apparently for the later ports of Super Meat Boy, they changed the soundtrack. And it's still a good soundtrack, don't get me wrong, it's not freaking terrible or anything. But I don't know, just the original soundtrack to Super Metroid, yes. No, Super Meat Boy has always appealed to me. And that's why I decided to get the Xbox Live Arcade version. Oh, by the way, It's also the same as well if you want to get the Steam version as well, but all the other ports, they changed the soundtrack, and that kind of makes me a bit sad or so. Also, I kind of screwed up a bit there. What I was trying to do was jump onto Clanker whilst doing the talent trot, but of course that didn't pay out too well. I will say, I do really like how the areas that you go and visit inside Clanker's body, and then you collect some of the Jiggies, as well as the Mumbo tokens and just everything else. You can do them in any order that you want, which is pretty damn wicked if I do say so myself, because it means that I don't ever have any troubles, you know, of like, which area should I go to first inside Clanker? And after a while of playing it, you start to find faster routes. Like those teeth bits right there that I already went through and collected the Jiggy as well as the Mumbo token. You can do those later, but I always just like to get those done first, because you cannot jump up to those when you are actually inside Clanker. The only possible way you can get those is by breaking, or at least, sorry, not breaking, like fixing his teeth, shall I say, because it was yellow. We're trying to help out our friend here, not kill him. And when you do that, I can basically just collect those and then move on. Like right now, what I'm actually supposed to do on this area is use a move. I was going to spoil what it was, but I honestly don't want to do that. I'm taking into mind that while people are watching this LP, some of you might have never played this game before, and for people who do that, I really don't like to spoil anything. In fact, an old catchphrase of mine when I first started my channel used to be, I don't like to give away spoilers. I don't know why that was a catchphrase, but it's stuff I always used to say that. I don't know why. Like, back in like 2012 or 13, I always used to say that. Just, I'm not going to say it because I don't like to give away spoilers, and it was really dumb, looking back at it now. Anyway, let's see what Bottles has to say about this move that we're going to get right here, because this will help us out an awful lot. Like, honestly, I consider this probably the most useful move in the whole game. Not just for health or anything, but for other things. Which was discovered actually in another project that I did on this game. Because back in summer or spring, I think it was, of 2017, well, I think it was anyway, I collabed with a friend of mine known as HarryTM12. And we did this series where I watched him play through Banjo-Kazooie, because he had never played it before in his life. So basically, while he was playing it, I was guiding him through it. And during that series, I discovered an awful lot of things that I never knew about, mainly just because Harry found them out by complete freaking accident. Like, here's a fun little fact that I'm going to show off in one of the later worlds or so that Harry accidentally found out, and I was like, dude, you have saved so much time for me on this world now, like, oh my god, thanks. And that's, you know the Wonder Wing that I'm using right now to go through all those fans and that whilst I'm invincible? Well, that also stops you from taking falling damage. Meaning, yes, if you jump from a high place, you don't then have to jump down and use your flutter. You can literally activate your invincibility feathers, jump from however high you are, and you will not take damage when you fall down. It's pretty much similar to if you played Mario 64, and then you perform a ground pound right before you hit the ground. And when he just did that, I was like, what? Wow, so much possibilities opened up for me on that. And how he found out by accident is, I'm not going to tell, because he has yet to release the episode or so, since we're actually a bit behind on releasing the series or so. It's still going on to this day, but I don't know. We just put it up when we feel like it, I guess. Or at least he does anyway. I mean, he's in charge of all the editing, and it's on his channel. And that friend was HarryTM12, by the way, which, if you do want to check out this series, there's a little link for it in the description below. Because even though it does have the links to all the other episodes of this series that you're watching right now, it also has a playlist to our collab where we play through Banjo-Kazooie. And then you can see how HarryTM12 did throughout the game. It was a long series, but keep in mind that if you do actually watch the series, by the way, you really need to remember, there's a difference between the games that me and Harry grew up with. Like, I mainly grew up with 3D platformers, and I've played them all my life and got very used to them. Harry has played them, but not nearly as much as me, so he's not quite as familiar with things. So if you do find that throughout the game he's screwing up on a lot of things, just accept it, you know? He's not as familiar with it as I am. I mean, I'm more familiar with the game than Banjo-Kazooie, so it makes more sense. So if you do watch that, don't hate, just enjoy. That's my recommendation anyway. Because of the area that I went to, though, that's it. That's pretty much nearly all of the inside of Clanker's Cavern done. For a second there, I thought that was literally everything done inside Clanker's Cavern, but not, because up here, there are some more musical notes, and I think, is that the last, Jinjo? Damn it, I nearly said Jiggy again. This is going to be like a habit throughout the series, isn't it? But come on, I mean, like, Jinjo and Jiggy sound like the exact same damn thing, and it's hard to muddle them up half the time. It's like earlier, you know, when I said Super Metroid instead of Super Meat Boy. That sounds similar as well, doesn't it? That's really bizarre or so. I'm glad, though, that on my second playthrough of this, it went swimmingly well. Well, I see that, and I'm swimming right now. Bloody hell. And of course, we need one more honeycomb piece, and that's it. Another honeycomb thingamajiggy is performed. I do find that when I talk about the honeycombs in this game, it's hard to tell which ones I'm talking about. Like, you have a honeycomb piece, which, when you collect 6 of them, it adds a new bar to your health. But you also have honeycombs that you collect as health. So, how am I supposed to tell the difference between the two, you know, when I talk about it? I mean, sometimes I'm going to say honeycomb and you're going to think I'm talking about the health, but no, I'm actually talking about the little upgrade that you get, so I don't know, really. It's just a little nitpicky thing of mine. Also, I really don't get how half the time throughout Banjo-Kazooie this game got an E rating, or at least, you know, just rated for children, shall I say. And I really cannot see it, especially like in its sequel Banjo-Tooie as well, because some of the dialogue they say, I'm like, what? Wait, who? There's some like really bizarre adult jokes and things, and even like some sections where you're just like, is that allowed for children? Well, I guess it is. I mean, it's published and Nintendo approved of it, so I guess it's fine. Because when you look around Clanker's body, you can like see all the insides of him and like the tentacles all moving about, and just, I don't know, when I first got to that I thought, what the frick? Like, I was actually expecting the inside of a robotic shark to be all mechanical and stuff, but no, it was all like literally inside with innards, and it was just like, whoa, this is a bit bizarre, isn't it? Also, I think is that everything? Yeah, I'm pretty sure from now on, all I have to do then is swim underwater and just go to those sections. That's another part that I like about Clanker's Cavern as well. You have a top part where all the jiggies and the musical notes are, and then you go underwater and that's where everything else is. I really like that, whereas Treasure Trove Cove was more, you go to this area, then this area over here, and then you also go back to that area to get that one thing again, and just... Clanker's Cavern just has a bit of design to me, in my opinion. I know that's a really unpopular opinion, believe me, because some people really do not like Clanker's Cavern as a level, next to a certain level later on, which is pretty much regarded as the worst level in the game, and there is a strong reason why. But on the N64 version, I mean, when you play it on the Xbox 360, that level's not really that bad. It's just, I guess some people have nostalgia, or at least, no, not nostalgia, like painful nostalgia of that level. Again, no, I don't want to say why, because I'm going to leave it until maybe episode, I don't know, like 10? That's my estimation anyway. I mean, I'm not really too far into this game in real time or so, because most of the time when recording LPs, I like to just record ahead of time, just to ensure that, you know, I'm much further ahead, I'm not behind on the series, or catching up and trying to commentate over stuff. I'm not that far, so I'm on like about the second world after what you're watching right now to this day while I'm recording this. So it's all going well, I guess, but you know, I mean, I don't really like to just record stuff and then call it a day now. I mean, that was a thing that I did back in the day when I first started my channel, and for like a couple of years, it was just, right, let's record an LP, let's just go first go, let's call it a day, I'm just gonna say whatever, and that was it really. But nowadays, I don't know, I like to spend more time and things on the videos and just ensure that what I watch, would I watch it again, would it be a thing that I would share on the internet, and those are the things I mainly keep in mind. But that's maybe a thing that you should keep, like, as a tip as well for when you upload videos to YouTube. 1, would you watch it yourself? 2, show it to somebody and see what they think. because I've been showing a lot of these episodes to HarryTM12 and see what he thinks about it. So thanks again to HarryTM12 for helping out with this series in basically reviewing does the video suck or not. Because there were a lot of mistakes in Shrove Cove. And the final one, would you share it with the internet? Like, is this a video that you've made and you're like, you know what, when I show this to people, they're gonna like this. If you do not like the video, do it again. Or just find ways to fix it. Maybe not do it again, depending on where you are in the game. I mean, I'm not saying, like, if you're on the final level of the game and you don't like the video, that's it, start the game again! You did bad. I'm not saying that, just, like, maybe add fine-tuning improvements here and there. Because I don't know if you noticed it, but with Shrove Cove, the original uploaded version of that had a lot of and stuff. Basically a lot of awkwardness for like the things that I was saying, and that wasn't needed. So I had to fix a lot of those just to ensure that I didn't say every 5 seconds, because apparently I said the word like an awful lot of times. I mean, I'm not saying you can never say ever in an LP. You can. You need to sound natural to what you're saying. You need to sound like you're actually a human being. You don't have to say everything perfect one shot. But, you know, if you do say it too many times, that can be a problem. Well, then again, I could talk. Believe me, a lot of the times I just repeat the same lines again and again. And while I would try and improve that, that's just kind of how I am as a person. I don't know why. Throughout all my times of recording LPs, that's just how it is. But if I do say it a little bit too much, like, I'm like, oh god, okay, I'm saying it way too much, that's when I'll probably be like, yeah, I'm gonna change it now. I'm trying to work on it nowadays, but it's kind of hard. Because, you know, this is who I am. It's how it is, really. Also, we finished Clanker's Cavern. Throughout this whole episode, I wasn't really paying attention to much of the gameplay, but the game kind of explains itself. I'm treating this series more as a casual run of me playing one of my favorite games ever, you know what I mean? The game's there, and I'm just rambling on about random things. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, we finished the level. Well, that's good. Also, our health upgraded a long time ago. Well, never mind. I mean, you know, you've been watching the game, haven't you? Also, yes, for people who are going to complain about this mumbo, I did know about it. I just didn't collect it because I mainly just wanted to get inside Clanker's Cavern and end the episode off really quick. I wasn't worried about the mumbo token, I just thought I might as well grab that on my way out of Clanker's Cavern. Anyway, well, that was a fun level. What we're going to do now, though, is open up the next world and see what it is. And the next world is probably one of my least favorites, to be honest. Grunty wears a reinforced girdle under that repulsive dress of hers. Does she really? She's also got this nasty pet dog, whose name is Leg Chomper. Ah, interesting. My sister sings in her own band, Grunty and the Broomstick Boys. They're awful. Jesus. I love how honest Brentilda is, you know, of her sister. Like, even though she's her sister and all, she will basically tell us all these facts and her own opinion on them. Like the fact that even though Grunty's in her own band called the Broomstick Boys, she thinks they're bloody terrible, apparently, or at least they're awful, from what she quoted. Also, I'm really glad that from now on, Bottles will shut up. I will have that from time to time when playing Banjo-Kazooie. Because when trying to fill out Jiggy Pieces on those pictures right there, when I am doing that, Bottles will sometimes show up and then tell me some hints and tips like, oh, you can press down to remove a jigsaw piece, which, why would you want to do that? I don't know why that's a thing in the game. I guess it's if you want to remove it and go to another world. But just, I don't know. Bottles sometimes gets in the way, and he's not going to do it now, because all I have to do is go to a picture and press Z. So that makes it a hell of a lot easier. Anyway, in the next episode of Banjo-Kazooie, we're going to be going onwards to Bubblegloop Swamp. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the next one.